Hey y'all, how y'all doing this morning? Told y'all I was gonna have something for y'all that y'all need to watch out for, but it's not just y'all, it's all of us. It's on my mind, probably many of our minds right now, because I know a lot of us are dealing with it. It's on my mind, but we all need to deal with it. We all need to think about it. And when I ask, do y'all believe in the Bible? I believe in the Bible. I believe in actually every word in the Bible. People can talk to me about contradictions and things of that nature, but guess what? After deep study and research, I have not found one contradiction. I found some things that you may not understand right now, but that doesn't mean it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction to you because you may not understand truth and whole truth, and you might want to accept what you want as truth. But again, I have not found any contradictions in the Bible at all. And again, I believe from Genesis to Revelations. And I say that to say this. Do you all believe that we are in Revelations right now? Revelations means the end. We're coming to a climax of a thing, a climax of this system of things. This the way that this government is ruled, the way that the earth is ran, the way that we are destroying the earth and things of that nature. Now, I'm going to get to a particular point. And when I'm talking about Revelation, I want to look at you, I want you to read Revelations chapter 12, verse 12. Now, I use the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures version. And I read this because, not just because they say I'm a Jehovah's Witness, but I read this because when you study it, you will see that this is translations of the original Hebrew and Greek, and Akkadian and Latin, the things that the Bible was actually written in, the original words from the scrolls. Most other translations are actually translations of translations. So this is why I prefer this word. And translation, we can look it up and see. We can even study that. But to get into the point, I want you to look at this. It says, Revelation 12:12, it says, on this account be glad, you heavens and you who reside in them. Now, this is after Satan was thrown from being able to come back and forth into heaven. It said, on this account be glad, you heavens and you who reside in them. But woe for the earth and for the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great anger, knowing that he has a short period of time. Do you understand that? And I'm pretty sure that y'all familiar with Peter too, where it says that he walks about like a roaring lion seeking to devour someone. Why y'all think that is? He down here with us, with the very ones that he hate. And he's actually like the very first kamikaze pilot. Y'all remember the Pearl Harbor kamikaze pilots? They flew from Japan, came over here and they bombed Pearl Harbor. And the thing was, they knew we bombing these people. They're not gonna give us some gas to fly back home. So what we're going to do is we're going to crash our planes into as many people as we possibly can with us in it. So we're going to kill ourselves and as many people as in it. So see, the devil know he has a short period of time, meaning he's not going to be around much longer, because that day is coming to call Armageddon, to where God sends, he is going to be a great judgment day of God, where he's going to destroy everything that's just like negative. It's about to be done away with, including Satan and his demons. Now, do you understand that? Believe that? Okay. Now, what's really on attack right now? Families. Why is that? Have you thought about that? Now, I want you to look at something. You have what does God what does God call angels? Which the devil was one at one period of time. Now I want you to look at Job chapter 2, verse 1. And it says, afterward, the day came when the sons of the true God entered to take their station before Jehovah. Now, if you're taking your station before God, where are you? You're in heaven. So at this period of time, the devil was still able to come back and forth and roam about and do what he wanted to do on the earth and back and forth in heaven. So he says, after the day came when the sons of the true God entered to take their station before Jehovah, and Satan also entered among them to take his station before Jehovah. That's Job 38, chapter 7. No, yeah, that's Job chapter 2, verse 1. When you go to Job chapter 38, verse 7, it says, when the morning stars joyfully cried out together, and all the sons of God began shouting in applause. Again, these are angels talking about when God was the universe was being formed and things of that nature. And every time he was making something, sons, just like your children would do, they was applauding like, wow, look what my dad did, things of that nature. So you got Psalms 82:6. But that was Psalms 82:6 when the morning stars cried out. You got Revelation chapter 21, verse 2. It says, I also saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. That's after Armageddon. He said, coming down out of heaven from God and prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. That means she's in a figurative sense. The God's organization, heavenly and earthly, is considered to be a bride. A bride is what? A woman. Now, I want you to think about this down here on earth. When you get to thinking about this, it said, Luke chapter 1, verse 35, it said, I have said you are gods. All of you are sons of the Most High. Right? And you got this, it says, in answer, the angel said to him, Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you, and for that reason, the one who is born will be called Holy, God's Son. Talking about Jesus. In Galatians 4:6, it says, not because you are sons, God has sent the Spirit of His Son into our hearts, and it cries out, Abba. And that's a Hebrew word. It actually means Father. Now, do you understand and see how God's organization is considered to be a family in heaven? You see that He also calls us, those who try to abide by His rules and regulations to the best of our ability, He calls us children as well. Now, I'm going to ask you, when you think about that, and you think about Revelations and why our family's being attacked, I want you to go back. What was the first thing that the devil, resistor, Satan, slanderer, or vice versa, what was the first thing he attacked? It was a family. God's sons, angels. When he left, he took a third of them with him because that's how powerful he is. I want you to understand that. That's how powerful he is. Now, one of the terminologies of his name is Lucifer, which means Lucifer means light bearer, which means he might have been actually the one who created the sun, which is so powerful. If you put it on a pinhead, you couldn't be within a 50,000-mile radius of it without burning up. Dying, it couldn't exist. And if he didn't create the sun, he might have been the one when God said, let there be light, not just shining down here on the earth. He might have said, let there be light. He might have been the one to make the light. So can you understand how powerful that is? Now, think about this as well. The first thing he attacked in heaven was a family. Took a third of the angels with him, being powerful. What was the first thing he attacked on the planet Earth? According to the Bible, it was a family. It wasn't just Eve solidified to be Eve. He attacked the family. Why did he attack the family? If you understand, he attacked Eve before she was able to ever have offspring. Not before she was able to have them, but before she did. Why is that? Because he knew that when her imperfection set in her and the sin that she took in her, it would also spread off to the offspring, to the children she had. So it would do what? It would be easier for him to get us. Easier for it was for him to get her. Now, when you think about this again, why is the family? When you think about it, we as men and women, we grow into what we consider to be manhood and womanhood. A lot of people in today's times, these things are failing. You have things, money, material possessions, you cute, he handsome, got a nice body, but that's not what the basis of manhood and womanhood is really built about. And the basis of manhood and womanhood is morals, principles, honor, standards, loyalty, spirituality. These things are the basis of what we grow into, but where do we learn these things? We learn them in our family. The family is the foundation and the structure of who you are going to be, who the world becomes, as starting in the family. So that's why he's destroyed the families, and that's why he is destroying the families now. Now, I want you to think about this. If you don't think this is the case, cultures in today's times are now cultures who didn't get divorces. Japanese, Chinese, you got the Spanish, the Latin, Sicilian, You have the Italian, man, get divorces. Guess what? They're getting divorces now. Why is that? Because the devil is breaking the families up. He's breaking the families up because guess what? He's taking as many people with him as he possibly can. Because if you are not focused on morals, principles, honor, standard, and loyalty and spirituality, guess what you're doing? You're not being 100% focused on what you really need to be focused on. Guess what sin means? Sins mean to not be 100%. It means to miss your mark on being correct in what it is that you're doing. So as long as we are blaming one another, you can't tell me what to do. I don't need you. I'm independent. Shut up, Trick. I got money. I don't need you. I can. Guess what happens to your children? They're listening to this. They're hearing this. And guess what? We're allowing them to be raised by Empire, hip hop, BT, video games. Or we are so engrossed with obtaining things that we continuously pacify them with things. And guess what happens when they grow up? If somebody cannot obtain and give them things, guess what? That's not right. When this person might be the actual best person for them, they might be able to actually try to teach them morals, principles, understanding, loyalty, and spirituality. Spirituality being first. But do you see what's happening? Do you see this in today's times? See, as long as the family is divided, so would the world be. You remember back in the days when still in some cultures and cultures, it says that it takes a village to raise a child because that's what it was. That village, that neighborhood, that street, that community was home. It was the foundation of what actually takes place to groom a child to be that man or that woman that they desire to be and that really the Most High wants them to be. But where are we now? See, so the thing is, be very, very careful of what's going on right now, because these are times and situations to where the wife is going to complain about some things. That's natural. It's natural, she's going to complain about some things. And guess what? You might be desired to go obtain what it is that she feels that she's missing or lacking. Or you might feel like doing whatever it is to please her. Guess what? Your husband might want you to do something that wouldn't normally come about. And the situation is, where do these things come from? See, when you go to the book of James, it says that we are drawn out and enticed by our own desires. Guess what the devil is doing right now? See, he used to be able to demonize people. And I'm not saying that that does not exist today, like exorcisms and things of that nature. I'm not saying that does not exist. However, the demonstration is this. Right now, we are drawn out and enticed by our own desires. So you might actually have everything you need. But he will entice the desire in you to obtain more. To actually try to look for more. To actually try to obtain more. Why is that? Because now you have acquired what he has passed off. What made him Satan resistor. What made him devil slanderer. Greed. He wanted more than the position that he was in. Same thing. This is not just women. This is the same thing with men. I know guys, you can't be with me. My wife need to go both ways. She need to have a threesome. Chicks in today's times, yeah, my dude need to be able to understand that I'm a stripper. No disrespect to you on what it is, or however you have take it, but this is what it has to. This is what you have to do. You have to accept that I'm a stripper. You have to accept that I'm in the streets doing this. You have to. I like women too. Where does this come from? My dude got to be in the game. He has to obtain this. He has to obtain that. And what do? On either side, we begin to try to obtain those things, which is why Paul said this. Paul said, it is better for you not to be married if you can't handle yourself, because the situation is, if you can handle yourself, because he said, once you become married, you desire to do and please your husband. You desire to please your wife. And you desire to please your mate, your significant other. He said, but when you single, you can really be focused on the Lord. But the whole situation is this. Now, again, he's destroying families. He's destroying relationships. Why? Because it is where the foundation is made. Kings, even back then, we all listened to him. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses. Guess what they had to do every day? And not just them, but everybody. They had to teach their children the word every day. Why? Because it was based on morals, principles, honor, standards, loyalty, and spirituality. The rules and regulations that God abides by. Now, guess what the situation is now? People say that the Bible is old. Oh, that's outdated. That's, oh, man. Tell me when the real rules change. That's like the game today. The game hasn't changed. The rules to the game are still the same. I'm talking about street game. All the rules are still the same. The players try to change the rules, which is why there's so much chaos in society in the streets today. Babies dying at 6 months old, 5 months, shootouts. Think about it. The devil has a short period of time. So he's seeking to devour as many people as he can, and his first aim is the families. So I'm telling y'all right now is not the time to start looking at one another's weaknesses, because that's what he does. He's going to look at the weakness. If you really sit down and focus, guess what you will see? That your spouse, 9 times out of 10, 99.99% of the time, actually has more positives than negatives. But you need to think about it. You're being drawn out and enticed by your own desires to think about the negatives more so than the positives, because he wants your house divided so you can go with him, so you can die with him. Trust and believe. That's what he wants. And trust and believe. That's going on now again. You don't believe it? Look at the thought processes for relationships. Look at the thought processes for marriages right now. It's a fad. It's something to do. Again, be very, very careful. When you're going through these situations, I'm going to go a last scripture. When I get out of here, it says that 2 are better than 1. But a 3, because it's hard to be broken. A 3/4 chord. So the situation means that when you got 2 people together, there's really, when you have 2 people that's fight, excuse me, sorry about that. When you have 2 people fighting together, it's hard to take that person down. The 3/4 chord is really not easily broken. Guess what that 3/4 chord is? That's God in your relationship. That means that you have that spirituality first, and it's going to be hard for the devil to get in and do what he needs to do, because guess what God says? You are not blind to his devices. You are not blind to the devil's devices. So I'm telling y'all again, stay focused on what you need to stay focused on. Come together and keep God in your life, because the devil is trying to take as many people with him as he can, starting with your families. Trust and believe it.